What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video. Mitch here, going to go over Thursday night football between the Jets and the Colts. And this is a pretty terrible game, I would say, and most people will agree. But for betting purposes, it might be fun because I think with a Colts wide receiver going down, it opens up some value, some really cheap value, which could make this showdown slate more fun for GPP wise, but overall it's just a terrible game. So let's hop into this Vegas total here. Opened up at 47, only dropped 1 point. I'd be surprised if it even gets to 40, but Vegas got it up there to 46. So we'll see how that goes. I still think it'll be the under. It's a pretty terrible game. We will start on the Jets side here. Obviously, Zach Wilson's out, so it's going to be the Mike White show. I don't necessarily expect Mike White to be able to do what he did last week against the Bengals, which obviously surprised everybody. I don't think he'll do that again this week, but you never know. So maybe you would take him in a GPP or something. I do think he's playable in the flex, but I'm not necessarily in love with him. But I can't fault you for playing him. But don't expect to have the kind of game that he did against the Bengals. Moving down to their running backs, I think Mike Carter is another pretty good play. I don't love any Jets, to be honest with you. So whichever one fits is probably going to be the route I'm going to go. I'm going to stack the Colts. Carter's playing majority of the snaps out of the backfield. It's a split between him and Ty Johnson, but Carter's getting more of the touches, which is awesome. So that's going to be the running back that I'm personally going to want to roster if I'm going to roster one. Look at his targets. Obviously Mike White targets Ty Johnson as well. He likes the running backs. I wouldn't play both of the running backs, but if you want to get weird, you could. Not loving Elijah Moore. He's just kind of up and down with his snap counts, and I don't necessarily want to pay that much for someone I'm not too high on any pass catchers from the Jets. Obviously, Corey Davis is out. The one pass catcher that I could probably see myself getting to is going to be Denzel Mims. I know that Jamison Crowder is technically, the number one on the Jets when Corey Davis isn't there, but Jamison Crowder is kind of expensive, $7,800. So I'm not even gonna, pay that any attention. I can't play that for Jamison Crowder, and if he burns me, he burns me. But I'm gonna take a look at Denzel Mims. He played like 60% of the snaps last week, and Corey Davis won't be here this week. I don't expect much, but for the price that he is at $2,000 on this slate, I think it's reasonable. When I don't necessarily love any of the pass catchers, Tyler Croft is another option that I would see myself getting to as far as the Jets. But remember, I'm not going to really prioritize any of the Jets pass catchers. Just whoever I fall on is who I'm going to side with. But I do in this bottom tier here, I like Mims the most. You could play Keelan Cole, but other than that touchdown last week, he didn't do too much. I like Mims. He's been, when he's healthy, he's been decent. No Tevin Coleman. He's already been ruled out. And while we're down here, we'll talk about probably my favorite play of the slate. With T.Y. Hilton going down, Doolin is a pretty good play. He played almost half the game last week when T.Y. Hilton went down. So I think that Dolan's a great play at bare minimum. How can't you play him? Especially with T.Y. going down. So let's say you have Pittman is the number one. You have Zach Pascal as the number two, and then it's between Dolan and I don't know how to say his name, Scantron or whatever his name is. But, Dolan got more of the snaps last week. So that's why I'm going to go with Dolan. But if you wanted to take him, you could as well. But he hasn't had a significant role as Dolan has. So I'm gonna go Dolan in my lineup pretty much, like, for sure. He's bare minimum. If he gets one catch, whatever. But he allows you to do so much. Like I said, I want to stack the Colts. And with stacking the Colts, I'm just going to lead it off with Jonathan Taylor at my captain. I'm going to lock him in this week at captain. He doesn't have a bell cow role. Nyheim Hines gets back there. Marlon Mack had like one carry last week. But it's predominantly Jonathan Taylor's backfield. So I'm going to lock him in at captain. I expect the Colts to kind of beat up on the Jets here, and they're going to want to feed Jonathan Taylor. He's a star. I'm going to go, I love Wentz. Michael Pittman is, creeping into, that upper echelon of wide receivers in the NFL, and Wentz loves them. They seem to have a really good connection. So if you just, lock in those three guys at the top that I mentioned, and you play Dolan, and then you could, land on any of these Jets that I had mentioned before, and you could pretty much do whatever you want with your lineup after that. And I think you'll have a pretty good lineup here on DraftKings. Those guys are still, bare minimum over here on FanDuel. The guys that I was talking about playing over on DraftKings, Dolan's down here at 5K. So is Mike. They're great. They're not great plays, but they're great values. So you can imagine what my build will be on FanDuel, and if I want to get weird, I will go down to those values. But necessarily on FanDuel, it's a little bit different on the pricing, and you may not have to get to those guys down there at bare minimum. So I'll just lock in, the three Colts that I totally expect myself to get to, and it leaves you with 7K. We saw Dolan down there for 5K. So if you did want to play him, it'll open you up to a lot of other options on the slate. That's going to do it for this video. Not that fun of a game, so I tried to power through it as quick as possible, and just get straight to the point on my core plays. If this helped you, please like and subscribe. If you would like to get more of our plays, and we do have content for NHL and NBA and UFC. At Quickie DFS would be how you would get reach out to us on Twitter if you would like to get those plays. That again is at Quickie DFS. And that's going to wrap this video up. Thanks for listening, and have a good one. Good luck.